You ever go through those weird steps of life where maybe you're doing some renovations or a move and you really think, man, I need a truck. I should just go ahead and buy a truck instead of asking a buddy or something. And then those stages kind of go away, you forget about it. Then in a couple years it happens and you're just in that cycle. Well, I'm here to tell you that you really don't need a truck. But if I can't convince you with that, well, then I got this to offer. This is a Hyundai Santa Cruz. Let's get into it. So over the last few years, there's been a trend of trucks that aren't quite trucks. Well, they're based off of cars. And by that, I mean they are unibody vehicles. They're not body on frame like something like a Toyota Tacoma. And this is one of them. The Maverick would be another example. Bit of a actual contender to this one, although I have my own opinions. And well, the classic, the Honda Ridgeline that everybody calls not a truck. And well, they all have this in common. They all have a bed that can carry all your stuff just like a regular truck, and the Santa Cruz is no exception to that rule. And on top of that, these trucks don't compromise on comfort, and they have a ride quality just like a regular car with a bed. So let's talk about specifics of this wonderful bed that we have on the Santa Cruz. This is a 4-foot bed. We do have a little bit of a scalloped shape over here, giving you a couple more inches of room, and we got all kinds of tie downs and hooks for your stuff. Up here also we do have a small cubby hole on both sides of the bed for a little bit of extra storage. And if that's not enough, well, a complaint that a lot of car owners have about pickup trucks is the fact that they don't have a waterproof section for their luggage or bags or what have you. Well, you can use this just for that, or you can also use it as a cooler. It does have a drain in it, and in case you can trap somebody in this little space, you do have a emergency latch for the inside of it. The bed is all nice and rugged plastic composite material, so you won't hurt it with your typical wear and tear. But with that being said, let's go ahead and go to the front and talk more about this particular Santa Cruz. This is a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder making 191 horsepower and 181 pound-feet of torque, which isn't too bad for something of this stature. It is capable of towing 3,500 pounds in the base model, or if you get the turbo in certain trims, it's capable of towing up to 5,000 pounds, which is impressive for a non-trucky truck. And fuel economy, well, this particular one is capable of 22 city and 31 highway. I want to take a second and talk about the styling of the Santa Cruz. And well, from this angle, this could as well be a Hyundai Tucson, because it is. From the driver door front, this is practically a Hyundai Tucson, same powertrain options and a lot of the similar features. The front end of these cars is pretty cool and pretty attractive. This is a 2025, so it is the updated model. These are not your headlights, these are your running lights. Headlights would be down here in the bumper, kind of a new Hyundai design language that they've been practicing for the last few years. Let's go ahead and take a look at the side profile, where you can start to think that this might not be a Tucson. And the first cue is these cladding, and it has a little Santa Cruz in each of these, just to remind you what you're driving. These wheels on the SEL trim are pretty non-offensive. They look pretty cool. They suit the vehicle. If you do get the off-roady version of this, the XRT, they would actually come with all-terrain tires, which is interesting to get on something like this. This particular one has these roof racks that you can use to put your skis or something cool on top. We got the black door handles on the SEL trim, of course, based off of what you get, that will change. And well, here we are again with the bed of the Santa Cruz, and we got these little slide rails up here. And let's go ahead and take a look at the taillights, which could be one of my favorite style cues of the Santa Cruz. And you can see that embossed in the bed. If you look at these taillights, they almost look like arrows pointing to each side of the truck. And if you come over here and take a look inside the taillights, it reminds you that the Santa Cruz was indeed designed in California. And just like that, we're inside the Hyundai Santa Cruz, and as I mentioned, this is the updated Santa Cruz, where we get this infinity screen across the dash, digital gauge cluster, and this massive infotainment screen that has wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay for now. And well, it is a very gentle, beautiful look inside of this car. No offensive lines. I love the way the vents just flow in the same straight line across the dash. We have a little shelf over here, and glove box is down here for a little bit of extra storage. If we come over here, we can see all the new buttons for your stereo. We actually have a physical volume knob, which is much appreciated. I know some Tucsons didn't have that. We do still have some haptic touch buttons, which, you know, it's not too bad. The ones that do matter still are knobs, and you can rotate them and feel them tactile. But the rest, like your fan buttons, the AC controls, all that is touch. Down here we have some ports for charging your phone, and if you want to plug in for phone connectivity. Old school cigarette lighter is still a thing in this vehicle. We do have a 8-speed automatic in these cars. This is the shift lever you get. No fancy knobs or none of that BS. We have an old school shifter, which I do appreciate. Drive mode selector is down here, which brings me up to the gauges in the Hyundai Santa Cruz. So we have the option between smart, sport, and normal mode. And smart mode in Hyundai pretty much means it chooses based off of your driving whether you want to go sporty or you want to drive more eco-friendly. The gauges are clean and easy to read. Everything about them is pretty modern and pretty simplistic, and so is this new steering wheel, which no longer boasts a Hyundai logo. Instead, it has these 4 dots, which is Morse code for the letter H. The steering wheel feels nice to the touch in this SEL. It's just plastic, not wrapped in leather or anything. We do have all of our driving safety features and assists, like keep lane assist and your active cruise control on the left hand side, and here is your stereo controls. So as I mentioned, this is a SEL, and that means you can get this leatherette trim, which is pretty cool. These are heated seats also, and well, the SEL costs you right around $33,000 and change, which is pretty impressive. Although this is front wheel drive only, a little bit more storage in the center. And with that, I want to show you what the back seat of this truck feels like. Back seat of the Hyundai Santa Cruz, and well, sitting behind my ideal seating position, I have a decent bit of room for my knees and plenty of headroom, which is actually pretty impressive because some of these car-based pickup trucks do struggle when it comes down to the back seat category. The 4 has a slight hump, but overall has plenty of room for your knees and for your legs. We've got USB-C chargers in the back, and it is notable in the back. In the SEL, you do not get vents in the second row, but in the higher trims, I know that you can option that. And oddly enough, I don't have a pocket here, but you do get this. And if you want cup holders, well, they are only available inside the doors of the Santa Cruz. One last feature of the Santa Cruz is this storage cubby underneath the seats, which is where your jack lives, and a couple other knickknacks for the Santa Cruz. A little bit more storage on the inside of the cabin if you're worried about that coming from a car. But with that being said, I want to see how the Santa Cruz actually drives and if it's any different than a Tucson. So join me in the front seat, buckle up, let's take it for a drive. Alright, driving the Hyundai Santa Cruz SEL, and one other thing that I just realized is this one of course doesn't have the full camera sweep that you can get in the higher Hyundais, and that would give you the blind spot camera, so when you turn a turn signal on, you can actually see your blind spot right in front of your face. Hyundai's been doing pretty cool stuff with safety features and just overall convenience, and for the money you pay for these vehicles, it's really unbeatable. I mean, we recently looked at a base model Ford Maverick right around $30,000, and I mean, you're getting a bare bones cloth seat truck, front wheel drive also, and it's sitting on Steelies, and this thing, for being on the low end of $30,000, feels very premium. The seating position of course is a good bit higher than the Ford Maverick. and gives you that confidence and good view out front over the road. It drives very much like an SUV. You wouldn't know there's a bed behind you until you look in the rear view mirror and see the flat rear window of this truck. Of course, with the 2.5 liter naturally aspirated engine, the Santa Cruz is not going to win any races, but as a reliable daily driver that does come with Hyundai's 10-year, 100,000 mile powertrain warranty, it is a pretty good package if you're looking for a truck and you don't want to compromise comfort and you're not needing anything like the off-road features that a body on frame pickup truck would offer. So we do have a Tiptronic mode with this 8-speed automatic. I'm gonna try that, see how that feels like. The kickdown isn't too bad. I mean, again, this thing's not meant to win any races, but if you feel like you want to roll through your own gears, maybe you're towing and you want to keep it from going into overdrive, you do have that option in the Santa Cruz. No paddle shifters in this particular one, but you do have the option to shift manually using the lever. All right, let's go ahead and kick this thing into sport mode just to make sure that it's definitely not winning any races. That's foot to the floor. Yeah, it's got enough pickup to get out of its own way, merge onto the highway. But if you are looking for something a bit peppier, I believe the turbo version has almost 100 more horsepower, so would be a good choice to upgrade into that. But as far as the Santa Cruz as a package, if you're looking to upgrade into a pickup truck that doesn't break the bank, is fairly reliable, fairly comfortable, pretty roomy on the inside for you and your family, well, the Santa Cruz is a solid option alongside, of course, the Honda Ridgeline and the Maverick. And to me personally, I think this beats the Maverick in almost every category, especially when it comes down to money. This car is just a fantastic value. The Maverick has a couple of advantages, especially in the hybrid, in terms of its fuel economy, because, well, it was advertised with 40 miles to the gallon, and there is not a single version of the Santa Cruz that will achieve that. But aside that, this truck will check most every other box if you're looking for a pickup truck that doesn't necessarily feel like a pickup truck. With that being said, I would like to hear your opinion if you're in the market for something like the Santa Cruz. Tell me what it is and why you're looking for it. If you own one of these, I want to hear your experience, so leave all that stuff for me in the comments. Smash that thumbs up button if you enjoyed watching this video, and subscribe so you don't miss reviews just like this one. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Peace out, and I'm out.